Okay, hi everybody. Buenas tardes a todos. This talk is a little bit of a spicy talk. I'm going to try and go through it as quick as I can because I know I'm the fourth one, but yeah, let's get into it. So, companions, compañeros. We've always had companions since the beginning of time, whether they were there to help us hunt, to keep us warm, or they were useful to us, or they would help us fight loneliness. My grandma used to always have the radio on, like listen to Radio 4 in the UK, just to make it sound like there was more people around in her house. We've also got these kind of companions that are absolutely downright annoying. I'm a 90s kid, so this and Furbies and Pokemon, this was like my digital companions. So there's a new type of companion that's kind of going around the block recently that I'm sure you've seen, and it's definitely ruffling a few feathers, and that is AI companions. I'm sure you guys have seen AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends popping up all over the place. You can see this in Instagram feeds like Alexis Ivy Edge. She's growing massively in subscribers and they're earning a ton of money being a completely AI generated influencer. There's also Dream Girlfriend. Dream Girlfriend is essentially where you can make your own girlfriend down to a hair type, eye color, or even her preferences sexually. In fact, since the beginning of doing this talk, this is the third time I've done this talk, there's just been a plethora of AI girlfriends coming out. It seems like this is something that people are kind of hungry for. And I'm kind of interested in why. Like, why are people turning to AIs instead of girlfriends, boyfriends, partners, that kind of thing? A little bit about me before I get into that. I'm Lizzie, an entrepreneur, founder, and a product designer. Also a private pilot in my spare time. And I've also worked in the adult industry for quite a few years. Not as an actress. If you Google me, I am not there. I'm just one of the geeky people that are behind the screens. So yeah, but it gave me a big insight into kind of the positives and the negatives of the adult industry and the positives and negatives of those kind of intimate connections digitally. In fact, I've done tons of user interviews with people who use adult websites, and although you would think that they would be kind of dirty, they were actually super enlightening. People were really polite, and I understood a little bit more the nature of that connection. And that's kind of why I'm here today, is I wanted to understand deeper why people are going to AI girlfriends and why they are looking for that in an intimate setting with a technology rather than another person. So yeah, I want to answer this question: why are people turning to AIs? So I went away and decided that I was going to make my own AI girlfriend just to see like how people are interacting with these kind of bots or images or influencers. And I made Galatea Belfort. Galatea, because if anyone's like a mythology fan, Galatea is like the sculpture that Pygmalion made and also fell in love with. And Belfort just because I like Wolf of Wall Street, and it's actually really difficult to come up with a surname for Galatea, so I just thought, well, yeah, why not? So here I have kind of the visual element, like the lore, you know, here's the AI girlfriend, chat to her. And then I made this absolutely convoluted thing in Make to try and get it to talk to people, run it through an AI and reply on Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, with either, you know, messages or GIFs or anything like that. So I decided to launch on these platforms. So Instagram, because that's kind of where these AI influencers are really growing, a website so people could sign up, and WhatsApp and Telegram. And also, like, if you're going to go and find this kind of stuff, you go to OnlyFans, right? I immediately got blocked and banned from OnlyFans for trying to do this, which is probably one of the best achievements of my life. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I kind of went away with it, and I was like, okay, let's launch it, let's get it out there, let's throw some ads and see how people are going to interact with this kind of slightly spicy chatterbot. And I was so excited when I got my first notifications of people speaking to me. What could they have to say to this AI? Like, how do you start a conversation with this AI? And You know, these are just some clips of things that people have said to me. And, you know, I was kind of wishing for more, like a little bit more substance, but everyone's got to start somewhere, right? So after a little bit of time, I started to share more with friends and family. On LinkedIn, surprisingly, LinkedIn, I don't know if recruiters are just real into this, but like it went boom. And I started to introduce like different things. So I realized they really like chatting it with GIFs. Like that's just a normal form of communication now, is that like we use GIFs a lot. So I had to introduce that. And I made like these kind of like silly, kind of slightly, I don't know, GIFs. And from those people that were actually willing to talk to this AI and would actually talk to me afterwards, I made a Discord to say, can I interview you? Like, why are you chatting to this AI? Like, I would really love to know. And people are like super candid about this. And I was really surprised that a lot of people actually wanted to know. Yeah, this question basically, why do you talk to an AI girlfriend? And I got this kind of plethora of feedback. And, you know, like I said, people were super candid and they answered in really honest ways. And these were the three main themes that came from that feedback. The reason why people are going to AI girlfriends or boyfriends or relationships is that they're scared of judgment, rejection, and they're lonely. And you can even see it in like these particular ones. So I feel seen, even if it's not real. I've been hurt in the past and this feels less risky. Like, what are we doing as a society that's making people scared to interact with other human beings? So I went back through the chats, through my chatbot, to see if I could find these themes in the interactions that came through. And I found them. And not only just one, but like, you know, I want someone to tell me I'm making a good decision in starting this business. It's not purely sexual or relationship, it's like support. In fact, there was tons of people messaging with just kind of heartbreaking messages that I really wanted my AI to answer in some kind of supportive way to help people get through this. You know, of course, there's the people who want to see boobs. They exist. But this is kind of another hand to that same person. I don't even know what that analogy would be, but you know what I'm talking about. And this one struck me. Like, it really hit me hard when I read this, and it shocked me, and it made me feel somewhat responsible to help this person. They're literally going to an AI that, from out of nowhere, that's an AI sexting bot, essentially, and saying this. So it's surprising, because I think that there's a space there, a space with relationships between humans and AI where this can help. So I started to ask myself, are AI girlfriends a solace or are they a symptom? We can see that we're experiencing a loneliness epidemic, and particularly Gen Z is experiencing this more than anyone else. We also know that the more connected we are, the more we also feel left out or feel lonely. We also know that Tinder no longer works. In fact, after doing some mathematical calculations based on this, it was only 3% that met up in person. I mean, someone can check the math on that because I'm not great at math, but yeah, 3%. After all of these profiles and right swipes and match rates and everything, only 3 met. So Gen Z also spends a lot less time with their friends than in person. You know, it's normal for people to spend less time with their friends as they grow up, but this is a trend between 15 and 24-year-olds, kind of going straight to not really spending any time with anybody. And as we can see, Gen Z is the loneliest generation we currently have. It's just extraordinarily isolating having these technologies that bring us together, but also so far apart. So I asked the question, can technology ever replace genuine human connection? Or rather, should technology ever replace genuine human connection? I think if you have real relationships with real people, real girlfriend, boyfriend, family, friends, AI pales in comparison to that. But there are people who don't have that. They don't have access to that for whatever reasons of their life circumstances. That they don't have anybody to turn to So, you know, we know that loneliness has a lot of links between anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation, with a scary fact that more than half of the US adults are dealing with loneliness. So I asked the question again, is AI companionship a solace or is it a symptom? And is there room for it in our society? If you want to try them out, scan them. Full disclosure, I'm going to look at them. So, but yeah, I know that this is quite a spicy topic and it's really polarizing, so I'm not going to answer some questions up here, but I'm really happy to chat with all of you on one-on-one, over pizza, over beers. Yeah, cool.